Ladies and gentlemen, how are you? We're back for Friday. Well, sorta. It's Friday here. It's Friday afternoon in Melbourne down here. It's not quite Friday for you guys just yet, but maybe in like 2 minutes for some of you, it will be Friday. So there you go. But yeah, it is actually Friday afternoon here. It's about 4 o'clock Friday afternoon down here at the moment, and it's a hot day in Melbourne. Hot day, very hot. It's like 90 something degrees down here. We had a very cold week, and then all of a sudden, we've got a 90-degree day down here. Good to see you all, Mr. Dan Yee. Gayla's here. Snapcrackle Pop, Wendy R, Rachel, Marilyn Landis. Marilyn Landis, how are you? April B, Marjorie. Hey, Marjorie. Good to see you, my friend. Deborah L, I hate mornings. Sherry's here. Hey, Sherry. Who else? Who else? Kathy Lynch is here. Darby made it. Let me get down my list. Jonna's here. Hey, Jonna. Hey, Juniper. Hey, my friend. How are you? It's good to see you. And Susie's here. Hey, Susie. Good to see you. A few hours until Friday here. I hope everyone's staying warm. I heard it got worse today. That it's even colder in a lot of places. That like what did they say? Someone sent me an email with the temperatures. Hold on. They said in Dallas today it was like 12.9 degrees Fahrenheit, which is -10 Celsius in Australian weather. Very cold. 17 degrees. Apparently, it was even colder than that in Texas. No more BS. Hey, I'm curious what the topics are tonight. Well, I'm going to take you out to Florida. Florida, the land of weird crimes that seem to always happen, apparently. So I'm going to take you out there, and we've got a few others on the list tonight. Hey, good to hear Zachary was found guilty today. Life in prison. I think that is a good sentence. I think that is a good result for that one. All right, take you out to Florida. Let's listen to this.
Also breaking right now at 11, we are getting our first look at this man, Ralph Hensel, who is in jail tonight on first-degree murder charges. That's after Winter Garden police say he shot and killed a man who was riding an ATV through a neighborhood. West News' Tony Atkins has been at the scene on Horizon Street all night. Tony, go ahead and walk us through what police say set the shooting off.
Well, Summer police say evidence and statements from witnesses, as well as statements from Hensel himself, ultimately led to this arrest tonight. This is the first and only soundbite we were able to get from someone on the scene of Thursday night's homicide in Winter Garden, a woman frustrated as she drove off. Many others, including the victim's family, say they didn't want to talk when we asked. Neighbors, deferring to the family speaking first, family too upset to engage. However, a lot of people looked on as police investigated the shooting they say happened just before 4 Thursday evening. Winter Garden police arrested this man, 57-year-old Ralph Hensel, after they say he shot and killed Jakeem Williams. Several people in the apartment community say Hensel worked for a leasing office nearby. When we made it, that office was part of a crime scene. They also say the shooting happened as Williams rode an ATV through the community, something corroborated by Winter Garden police as an ongoing issue. Police say Hensel shot his gun at Williams, killing him. His body was left beside that black ATV behind a house in the community. And as the sun set, the investigation continued, police eventually announcing Hensel would be charged with first-degree murder. And tonight, Winter Garden police, they say there is no other threat to the community. They also add that they plan on giving us an update in this case tomorrow morning. I'm covering Orange County live in Winter.
So that was from Wesh TV2, and yeah, what is going on with people? How come we seem to want to solve disagreements by firing guns at people for riding an ATV in the neighborhood? Like, I get it. Sometimes neighbors are annoying, and you know, but you can't just pull out a gun and fire at them and then leave them to die, you know, just like they're garbage. Like, he died where he fell. It's really it's just bizarre. And, yeah, so I'll read some more here. They say Winter Garden Police Department is conducting a homicide investigation after a man was shot and killed on Thursday. Police say they responded to the residence located at 1031 Horizon Street in reference to a person who was shot. Upon arriving, they found a man lying next to a motor vehicle. He was pronounced dead by officials. The victim was identified as Jakeem Deshaun Williams, according to police. Investigators determined that there was a disturbance about an ongoing issue with people riding motorcycles in the apartment complex, and the subject had fired a gun at the motorcyclist. Why? Like, what do you think you are, in some sort of 80s cop show? I mean, with that T-shirt, he may actually believe that. Might believe he's stuck in some sort of 80s buddy cop drama. Yeah, and that's it. So apparently the shooting suspect's name is Ralph Francis Hensel. On the newscast, it sounded like they were saying his name was Pencil with a P, not a H. But it's Hensel. So 57 years old, has now probably going to spend the last of his days in a county jail for shooting some guy on an ATV. Just what is wrong with the world? How is that in, like, how is that some sort of like thing you would just think of? You're like, oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out there and I'm going to fire at them. I already told them off like 3 times, but this time I should shoot at them. I don't know what's going on with people. I really don't. Yeah. Thavi said, crossing fingers we hear something about jobs tomorrow or Monday. I hope you do. I hope you do. Hey, Moonlight View, how are you? It is unbelievable. You'll be in the 70s by Saturday? I hope so. That'll mean spring is on the way for you. Yes. So hold on. Let me pause that. Let's try and, yeah, he's on the screen. Let me try and see if there's another source for this. Apparently there is a press conference, but it's not until 10:30 in the morning tomorrow. So they will be doing a bigger update on this. This only happened in the last few hours. I think about 5 hours ago is when the news broke about it. 5-6 hours ago. Yeah, I'll take you over to Fox 35 in Orlando. What do they have to say? Let's see their one.
Take a look. An active crime scene is unfolding right now in Winter Garden. Video from Sky Fox shows several units from the Orange County Sheriff's Office on the scene.
And just minutes ago, we got details about the situation, and Fox 35's Marlisa Goldsmith is in the newsroom with more. Marlisa.
Yeah, John and Luann, we got brand new information confirmed by police just moments ago. We know that one person has been shot and killed, and there's a suspect now in custody. Sky Fox, as you just saw, was over the scene minutes ago. Right before 4 o'clock this afternoon, Winter Garden police responded to a home on Horizon Street for some sort of ongoing issue with people riding motorcycles in the apartment complex and someone firing a gun at the motorcyclist. When officers got there, they say they found 32-year-old Deshaun Williams lying next to a 4-wheel motorcycle behind the house. He was pronounced dead. As for the suspect, they are now in custody and is being interviewed by investigators right now. Police tell us there is no further threat to the community as they continue this investigation.
You see how big that crime scene was. You see where all the tape is in that video.
We'll be sure 32-year-old Deshaun Williams.
It covers like half the block. It's all the way down here on the left side. They've got different areas blocked off, including up the back here. They've got another property tied off. So this is a huge crime scene area that they've blocked off, like what, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 houses. They've just roped them off and trying to investigate why this person was shot and killed in Winter Garden, Florida. Marjorie says, "Hey Ping, when do you all head to the mushroom trial?" April 27th. April 27th is, hold on, let me double check. No, April 27th is the day I'm driving up there. It's Sunday. Sunday. The trial will probably start Monday, the 28th of April. And it's expected to go for at least 2 weeks. I'm going to be there for about 2 weeks. We'll see. If we get to sentencing within the 2 weeks, I'll be okay. If it's later than that, then I'll have to probably come back for sentencing because we only booked the hotel for 2 weeks, which cost like it was stupid amounts of money. It was like four and a half thousand. I can't remember, but the price went up. We got a phone call like 2 weeks ago, and the guy's like, "Oh, I know you made a booking like a month and a half ago or whatever. It's like for a big block of dates or whatever." And he's like, "Oh, there's high demand for this time period." He's like, "So we have to put in like our peak rate or whatever." And it ended up costing me like an extra $1,000 for the 2 weeks. So my credit card is very unhappy. My credit card's very, very unhappy. No, it's a little while away. April, late April. Late in April, my friend. It'll be good though. It'll be very interesting. I'm trying to see if I can make the day more interesting because I think it's going to be weird because a lot of people in America who want to follow the trial, we won't get out of court until about now every day. And by the time I get back to the hotel, set everything up, get a live stream going, it's probably going to be around now every day. Yeah, maybe even a little bit later. We get out of court at 4 o'clock. It's 4 o'clock right now. So it's going to be a really late court show. Very, very late. I wish I could do something during the day. I'm just trying to figure out what that could be. Maybe when we go on break at lunch, because there's a 1 hour break at lunchtime, I can do a live show from the outside, the lobby. I don't know, something. We're just not allowed any cameras in the courtroom except for those that have been pre-approved. So we're not allowed to do that. Yeah, apparently they can. Apparently they can. There's no law here that says that they can't do that. That happens all the time in Australia. I can tell you that because it also happened when we went to Tasmania. It happened to me. It happened to my in-laws. They had a different hotel book for another family member, and it happened to them as well. So it happens quite frequently. Yes. What? Yeah. Sure. I get what you mean. Yeah, it's gonna be a long day. It's gonna be a long day at court. But I really want to see Aaron Patterson in the flesh. The street performing with the juggling. I still haven't found them. I don't know what happened to them when we moved. When we moved, I boxed them away, and they're in we have a spare room that's down this way in the back of the property. We got like 50 boxes in there that we just never unpacked when we moved. They're still there. They're in there somewhere. One day I'll find them. One day. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. All right. Let's continue. Let's continue. Yeah. So that's the one out of Florida. There will be a press conference in the morning. I hope maybe if I'm awake, I'll be able to jump on and quickly show you the press conference. We'll see. 10:30 in Florida would be. What time is it now in Florida? Are they considered East Coast? Hold on. So it's midnight in Tallahassee. No, we want Winter Garden. Oh, okay. It's 10 past 12, 10 past midnight in Winter Garden. So 10 and a half hours from now would be 2:30 in the morning Australian time. I don't know if I'll be awake at 2:30 in the morning, but if I'm not, I will post the press conference. I'll post it to my social media for you. Yeah, it's very early in the morning for me. All right. So yeah, when we know more about why this guy decided to shoot someone in this apartment complex, I don't know. We'll find out. I just don't understand where that becomes a reaction that you want to do for a nuisance. So obviously the guy was annoyed that people were riding motorbikes through here. But why shoot at them? What do you think that's going to do? He wasn't like, "Yes, I'd like to go to jail and spend the next 45 years to life in this jail cell. I'm kind of sick of living here with all the motorbikes." I don't think that's what he had in mind, but that's what's going to happen now. Factor in the jet lag. Jet lag? Jet lag? We're not flying anywhere. We're, we're not flying anywhere. The trial is in my home state. We're driving. It's about 2 hours from here. It's about 2-hour drive. 2-hour drive if you continue going east from where I am right now. It's about 2 hours east. Because Aaron Patterson wanted to be annoying and make everyone go to Morwell instead of the city. If we went to Melbourne City, I can just jump on a train. There's a train station at the end of my street. I could have just jumped on a train at 6 a.m. in the morning, got into court, walked into court, and then came home in the afternoon on the train. It would have been very easy. Because she wants to go to Morwell, we have to go all the way out into the country. We have to go all the way out into a rural area of Victoria at a tiny little courthouse in Morwell. So, should be fun. April B said he should have called the police to help resolve the issue, not take matters into your own hands. A lot of people these days think that they are judge, jury, and executioner and have been taking these type of personal issues into their own hands. Like I showed you about a month ago, there was a guy in Australia who killed his neighbor, and we talked about that for a while. He killed his neighbor over a tree. A giant tree that they had in the back. The neighbor was scared that the tree was going to fall on the house if they, during a storm or weather. During a storm, a branch fell and damaged some, fencing or whatever. He went over there and they got into an argument and the guy killed him. Yeah, the guy beat him up and then strangled him to death. So I am in Australia. Where do you think this court case is happening? April B says people have no communication skills anymore. No, they don't. Marilyn Lander says, yeah, I remember that. Zach Hughes, case in point. That's weird though. His one's weird because he inserted himself into a crime that had nothing to do with him, like nothing at all. It was a separation between a husband and wife. He didn't have anything to do with it. Like it's not like he was banging the wife or something. They had no like just some guy he knew, and he's like, "Oh, I'll help you out. I'll go kill her." Like that guy deserves to spend the rest of his life in jail. He's an absolute danger to society because he's a nutcase. He's just mental. Johanna says, "What's wrong with these people?" I don't know. No, this case, yeah, because we got confused. This particular case, the shooting of the guy is in Florida, Winter Garden in Florida. But someone asked about a case that we're going to in April, Aaron Patterson's trial in Melbourne, Australia. Sorry, we shouldn't jump cases like that. It confuses some people. Actually, let's go back. Let's go back. Let's do a refresher for a minute. Let's go back to what date? We've got a few we could do. Let's go back to November 2023. Let's go back to November 2023.
Well, Nine News has been told accused mushroom killer Erin Patterson entertained a group of people at her Leongatha home the night before she was arrested and charged. Neighbours have made the claim, saying the community is still struggling to come to terms with the loss of the 3 admired members. Crime reporter Gillian Lantouris.
Filing in for their usual Sunday service, there was an air of sadness, with the notable absences of lost friends still being felt by the Korumburra community.
Everybody has been deeply affected by it.
Reverend Ian Wilkinson, the sole survivor of the alleged toxic mushroom lunch, still not well enough to lead his parishioners. Instead, he's been replaced temporarily by another pastor.
As upsetting and as distressing as what's happened.
Neighbours have revealed Miss Patterson had guests over here at her Leongatha home the night before it was raided by police. That would be her last night as a free woman before her arrest. They say several people attended the function that lasted a few hours. The next day, Erin Patterson was charged with murdering her former in-laws, Dawn and Gail Patterson, along with Heather Wilkinson, by serving them a deadly meal containing poisonous mushrooms in July. She's also charged with attempting to murder Mr. Wilkinson, who was at the lunch but recovered, and of plotting to kill her estranged husband, Simon, on 4 separate occasions. He hasn't been seen since the charges were laid, shying away from the tight-knit community and absent from today's church service.
So they make it sound very simple about Ian and that he survived. He didn't just be like, oh, I survived. He had to have a liver transplant. He had to get a new liver. It's the only reason he's here on Earth right now and that we don't have 4 murder charges is because he somehow, out of all 4 of them, survived long enough that they could get him a new liver and he recovered. And he's the only one to have lived out of the 4 of them. Oh, and Erin Patterson. But yeah, they make it sound very, very simple. Like, oh, he survived. He just recovered. No. He was almost dead in hospital. And it was the great hospital staff. They kept him alive. They were able to somehow try and detox his body enough and keep him conscious and alive and sedated until they could find a liver for him. So yeah, exactly. And somehow they were able to do it within the time frame before the poison mushrooms killed him. And yeah, he's the only one to survive out of all 4. The husband you see here, this guy here, this is Erin's ex-husband. These are where a majority of the attempted murder claims or charges come from. 4 of them come from him. The 5th one is for the guy with the liver transplant. Here he is, this guy. So the 5th attempted murder is from this guy here because he didn't die. And then the other 4 are from her ex-husband. If I can pick him up, there he is. Attempted murder. The other 3 are murder charges for the 3 people who did succumb to the death cap poisoning. His one is a little bit different. So one of his attempted murder charges are from the lunch that he did not go to. He was invited, but at the last minute said he couldn't go. And that's one attempted murder charge. The other 3, they are from the year before, I believe. And they surround different poisoning attempts, allegedly from Erin Patterson, trying to kill her ex-husband. It was so bad that he ended up in hospital in a coma. Somehow he survived, and he's here today. But for about a month, the doctors didn't know what was wrong with him. He had some sort of stomach issue. They didn't really know what was going on. They just knew he was very, very sick. And after keeping him in hospital and flushing his system and giving some medication, he suddenly got better. And the doctors are like, oh, okay, that's weird. Why did he just suddenly get better? And it's probably because Erin wasn't feeding him poison. You know, it's happened before in poisoning cases where someone has been admitted to hospital. Suddenly they get better because they're being supervised and they can't be poisoned. But yeah, so four of the attempted murder charges are for him. One of them is from Ian, who survived. The other 3 murder charges are for the 3 people who died. So that's how the charges against Erin Patterson work. And this is the trial we are going to at the end of April. So I hope that explains it. And it is a very extremely interesting case. There is a lot here to unpack. We may have to do a catch-up show soon because there's a lot of details people may have forgotten. I can pick some out, like Erin throwing away a dehydrator and then lying to the police about it. Erin lying about where she got the mushrooms from. First saying that it was a Woolworths, which is a supermarket in her hometown. Then she tried to say it was an Asian grocery store in Melbourne. So she basically accused, you know, it's almost a race crime by accusing these Asian grocery stores. You know, it's horrible to point the finger at them when they've got nothing to do with it. And she as far as we know, hasn't told police fully where those mushrooms came from. We don't know. But what we do know is that Erin and other people within her family had gone foraging for wild mushrooms in the past. That they have done this. It's an activity they do, and don't know if she dried them or something like that, but seems like maybe because she threw away a dehydrator. So maybe she dried those poisonous mushrooms, kept them until the perfect opportunity arose, and then rehydrated them, put them into a beef Wellington, and almost killed 4 people, including if her ex-husband came, it might have been 5. So very, very suspicious case. Can't wait for this trial. Me either. I can't wait. One of the other things she did, she released a letter through her lawyers as a statement. And the cops basically said, no, that's not how that works. You can't just release a statement through your lawyer. You have to come into the police station and you have to answer our questions while being recorded and being like similar to like Miranda rights. Like you have to have your rights read to you and understand that you are under caution and stuff like that. So she tried to get out of it by releasing this statement to the media. It didn't work, and it basically just made her sound even more guilty. What else? They also raided her property. That property you see on this video here, they also raided, and they mention it in this this property here. They raided this property, and they used a very new type of investigative technique, which is called a technology dog. Like it's like a sniffer dog, like a drug dog, or like a bloodhound, but they don't smell blood or bodies or whatever. They look for technology. So anything with a circuit board, anything like a cell phone, a SIM card, a computer, a laptop, you know, cameras, anything like that, they can actually sniff out technology and they can find it. And apparently, when they did that, her property had already been searched once before. But when this sniffer dog who does technology went to the home, they found SD cards, SIM cards, storage devices hidden around the home. Not like in plain sight, not like in a cupboard, like hidden. Because they'd already searched that property once before with a search warrant and they didn't find it. But when they came back with the technology dog, they did. So, yeah, they're pretty cool. That's a new type of search dog. So, actually, I wonder if we can. Did we used to have a video for it? Hold on. Let me see if I can find a video about the about search dog. Don't think I can find a video, but I can show you the article. Can show you the article. Okay. Yeah, so this is from, I think at the time was the police chief. They said the AFP, which is sort of like the FBI, the AFP's dogs were able to sniff out technology such as mobile phones and SIM cards. And they're saying here, Victoria's Chief Police Commissioner Shane Patton said investigators were continuing the search on Thursday. Is this? No, this is so. This is for Samantha Murphy. They were saying you use these technology dogs in Erin Patterson's search. How come you're not using them in Samantha Murphy's search for her? But he was saying basically that only the Australian Federal Police have access to those dogs that can do that. That the local police in Victoria don't have that capability. So here they say the AFP's tech detector dogs were recently used to sniff out 5 iPads, a USB, and a smartwatch at the home of Erin Patterson, the Victorian woman charged in connection to an alleged mushroom poisoning plot last year. They say Murphy's family reported the mother of 3. That's Samantha Murphy. We'll do that another time. But yeah, so this AFP tech detector dogs. Let me see if I can find an image of them. Yeah, let's go. So the Australian Federal Police have a thing up here. I wonder if we can watch it. Yeah, here. Alright, we can't listen to the music, but they're basically doing a walkthrough here demonstrating the capabilities of these new dogs. So they've got like a mock lounge room set up, a mock home, and they're asking the dog to look for the technology. And they found a USB and a thing of coffee. Look at the little puppies. They're so cute. So these are all going to be future technology dogs, apparently. And you can see they're saying they go in and they train them as an asset to the AFP. And even in a vehicle, they can search a vehicle. And he's off. He's off. He's going to search someone else's car. So yeah, they do this kind of training with them to look for the technology. And that's what they used in Erin Patterson's home. Pretty rare. Like I've not heard of them before that. So Marjorie, thank you so much. I appreciate it for mushroom support. I appreciate it. Thank you. It's going to be a lot of fun being out there, and I think it'll be interesting to show people around the world how trial works in Australia. Like we hear a lot about it in the USA. Like people have gone to, Laurie Vallow and Delphi and things like that. But to go to an Australian courthouse, I think, is not something that's been done a bunch. I know a few people who have done it, but it's not done like the USA. So it'll be interesting. They're so beautiful, the dogs. All going to be future AFP tech detector dogs. So they'll be sniffing out technology for years to come. Here, let's go here. The AFP put out a thing at the end of 2024. It says here, meet Georgia, the AFP's top dog for 2024. They say the AFP's talented canines have sniffed out 1,100 electronic devices and 104 illegal firearms and 70 kilos of drugs in search warrants around Australia in 2024, with Technology Detection Canine Georgia crowned top dog of the year. They say AFP detection dogs attended more than 100 warrants across the country in 2024, including assisting with Operation Kraken. I think, was that the one with the, hold on, what's Kraken? Yes. So Operation Kraken was a operation for encrypted cell phones that were used to import drugs and other things of the underworld. And the cops got into it and basically monitored the criminals, thinking they were talking on an encrypted device. And the cops could read all their messages, and they used it to arrest hundreds of people across Australia and other places. They're saying here's Georgia here, in front of a military aircraft, U.S. Air Force. U.S. Air Force, not Australian Air Force, USA. And there's Georgia. Georgia's like, that's my airplane. I take that to work every day. She's like, I ride that to work. What a clever dog. What do they say here? Okay, just more stuff about the detector dogs. But yeah, there you go. So they use these dogs in Erin's home. First time I'd ever heard of anything like that for a criminal search warrant. Normally it's used in like terrorism investigations or some sort of security threat, not really for someone who committed murder like that. So Paw Patrol has a new division. That's right, the tech division. I don't know yet, but I have heard from some people that there's so many people coming that 2 hotels have already been booked out in the little town of Morwell, that there's already very few hotel rooms left. Like, when I called up, I barely got a room, and that was 2 months ago. So I hear there's going to be a lot of people at this trial, including, like I said the other night, they're saying in the media that at least 2 documentary crews, if not 3. So I know of 2 from America, and I know of at least 1, maybe 2 from Australia. So there's going to be multiple documentary crews at this trial. It really is going to be trial of the century. It's going to be one of the biggest trials I can remember in Victorian history, maybe in Australian. It's going to be massive. And I have heard they've allowed cameras into the courtroom, but I don't know if they're live cameras or recorded cameras. I don't know. But maybe you'll get some live TV. You might see Ping sitting there writing notes all day. Sting operation at its best. It is. Deborah says, pretty cost effective too. Besides food, they just want treats. I know, like at the end, he's like, here, have a toy. For all your hard work, you can have a toy. Where is he? He goes to the van, then he comes back, and he's like, here, have a toy. He goes, he comes back. Oh, we don't get to see it? He's like, go find the stuff. Yeah, see, he's like, he just wants a toy. Oh, they're so beautiful, the dogs. He just wants to play with his toy. Sean said, remember, it's the biggest case in decades. Yeah, definitely. It is definitely one of the biggest trials, maybe since, I don't want to like put it out of like its scope or whatever, but could be something as big as like Lindy Chamberlain. Could be something like as big as that. Jonas says, sounds so interesting. It is. Stay away from those magic mushrooms at trial. I'm going to be working the entire trial, so I won't be doing any recreational anything. I'll just be working. It's going to be a long couple of weeks. Nikki says they just love to please their humans. I know, they're so beautiful. All right, so there's your update. If you haven't, if you weren't here last year when we did it, that is the Erin Patterson trial, and yeah. It's been a long wait. We've been waiting about a year and a half. She got arrested almost 18 months ago. And so we've been waiting waiting almost 2 years for this trial. Actually, I wonder if we have that video. Hold on. Here it is. I love this video. It makes me laugh every time. When this was all going down, this video convinced me that we were in for a wild ride. I'm not going to play it all, but a lot of you already watched it because we played it a bunch of times on this channel. But this is from news.com in Australia, or the Australian.
Devastated by what's happened, by the loss of Don. Don is still in hospital. The loss of Ian and Heather and Gail. They were some of the best people that I've ever met. Gail was like...
Take your time.
Gail was the mum that I didn't have because my mum passed away 4 years ago. And Gail's never been anything but good and kind to me.
The fake crying just gets me every time. Like, what is this fake crying? You sound like a really bad actor trying to convince everyone that you're very sad. Like, stop touching your eye. No one sees any tears or wetness near your eyes. Yet you can't keep touching them like it's some sort of OCD tick that you have. You just got to touch the eyes. It's got to make them believable. It's one of them. You just keep watching her. She keeps doing it.
And Ian and Heather were some of the best people I've ever met. They never did anything wrong to me. And I'm so devastated about what's happened.
Can you tell us
and the loss to the community. And
stop touching your eyes. What are you doing? Do you think that your eyeball fell out and you're just checking to make sure it's there? Because there ain't no tears. You're not crying. So, like, what are you doing? Just making sure that your eyelids are not, glued shut? Is that what's going on? It's bizarre.
To the families and to my own children who've lost their grandmother.
Can you tell us a bit more about the lunch?
What I can tell you is that I just can't fathom what has happened. I just can't fathom what has happened. That Ian and Heather have lost their lives, and Gail has lost her life, and Donna's still in hospital, and I pray.
What's with the weird vocal tone? What's with this weird kind of like reverberating voice? It's so weird, like, like, you're not convincing anyone that you're upset. And she, at the end, like, she turns it off in a second. Danny, I know the behavioral panel did this. I don't even need to watch it because I already know what's going on here. Yeah, it's so obvious. This wouldn't even be a hard video for them to make. It is just so blindingly obvious what's going on, and the little cues and things like that. Even like someone stupid like me can pick it up. So, someone who's not trained in behavioral or whatever. Hold on, guys.
I pray that he pulls through because my children love him.
And you must be pretty shaken up by this as well.
I'm devastated. I love them. And I can't believe that this has happened, and I'm so sorry that they have lost their lives.
How are you?
I just can't believe it. Just can't believe it.
Can you tell us where the mushrooms came from?
She sounds like a kookaburra laughing at the end there. It really does. It didn't sound like she was upset. It sounded like a kookaburra. It was like her impersonation of one. Yeah, this video convinced me that we're going to go on a very long ride together about Erin Patterson. There's just so many things wrong in this particular media interview thing. You can just tell that it's not authentic. Not that we tell people how to grieve or anything like that. Like, people grieve in their own ways, but it just doesn't. It just you can humans can just tell when it's something doesn't look right, and this just looks so far from real. It's not even funny. Marjorie said it's remarkable that people think they can get away with it. I know. We've seen it before. We've seen people do this kind of like giving the media what you think they want, like giving them the persona of an upset person. We've seen it with other people, and even in America, in England, like other murderers, or sorry, alleged murderers. Deborah says, "Isn't it a miracle that she didn't get sick at all?" I know. It's so funny. She painted herself into a very bad corner here, a very bad corner, because she said, "Oh, I scraped off the mushrooms or whatever, and I gave it to my children." And then we learned later on that you can't do that. It spreads throughout the entire dish, and they would have still been poisoned as well. Same with her. She reckons she ate it with the mushrooms on it. Well, interesting how 4 other people, 3 of them died within 48 hours. One of them almost died and needed a freaking liver transplant. And you got sent home from hospital with a couple of Nurofen and a shot into your arm of some sort of liver protecting drug. Why you? How come you're the only one? Because it doesn't make sense. When you cook for family and friends, you're like, oh, I want to make sure this tastes really good and it's perfect. I'm going to try a bit before I serve it to my family or whatever. You want to make sure it's really good. So she would have actually had the biggest dose of the toxin, not the smaller. And then she actually said, I got to confirm this, but I'm pretty sure she said she ate more of it the next day on the Saturday. So none of it makes any sense at all. She should have had the biggest dose out of any of them. And for some reason, the hospital just sent her home and was like, nah, you're all right. You're not sick. You're fine. And her children didn't get sick. She didn't get sick. Only the people that she wanted to get sick got ill. The thing I like the theory that she made 2. I do like that theory that she made 2 beef Wellingtons, one that had the poison mushrooms in it and one that did not. It's the only way to explain what she's telling everyone. Because otherwise, how did she eat any of it at the lunch? Like, it's not possible. So I actually believe that, yeah, she made 2. One that contained the poison mushrooms, one that did not. She and her children ate the second one, the one that was not poison, and her relatives ate the poisoned one. She is in jail. She is in jail right now. She is in a place called Dame Phyllis Frost Detention Center in Melbourne. She is currently snug as a bug in a jail cell. No, she's not free. She got arrested 18 months ago. She got arrested like 18 months ago or something. Not too long after this interview, they raided her property. Actually, I think we might have that video. Hold on. There was a little video where she was arrested. Let me find. Yeah. Back in 2nd of November, 2023. If it'll load. Hold on, guys.
July of this year, on a weekend, Gail Patterson had her family over for a meal. And after that meal, 3 of those people that were there became critically ill. So 4 of those people became critically ill and 3 of those people died. So at Erin Patterson's home for the meal in late July were Gail and Don Patterson, the parents of Erin Patterson's ex-husband, as well as Ms. Patterson's sister, Heather Wilkinson, and her husband, Ian Wilkinson. Gail and Don Patterson died a few days after this meal, where there was a suspected mushroom poisoning, and Heather Wilkinson died quickly after that meal. Her husband, Ian Wilkinson, was gravely ill and in a critical condition in hospital. There were real concerns that he would also die, but he was able to recover. And ever since that meal, police have been investigating what went on. And this morning, at 8 o'clock this morning, police executed a warrant on Erin Patterson's home. They arrested her and have taken her in for questioning, and they are investigating her property this morning as we speak. And
Yeah, not too long after this, she was charged with those 3 counts of murder and 5 counts of attempted murder, and she has been behind bars ever since. We've seen her a couple of times at court hearings, but most of them haven't been able to be reported on. Now, when we go to trial, the media will just light up. They've been sort of suppressed for since she's been arrested. It's sort of been suppressed. As soon as we get the trial underway, it's just going to go absolutely haywire because everyone's been waiting for this and everyone wants to know more information. Why did she do this? How did she do this? You know, how much planning went into it? Was it only supposed to affect one person, her ex-husband, or like, you know, what was the motivation behind it? That type of thing. So it's going to go absolutely just crazy as soon as it opens up. She had $1 million. She had a home. I think it's on the market now, or it was either on the market or it's sold. That property belonged to her mother. So her mother passed away a few years ago, and that property was gifted to her in her will. So that's not really her property, it was her mother's property. And the only reason she has really any money at all is sort of money that was passed down through her mum. Her mum was quite well off. I think she got most of her money when she married her ex-husband, and he had a business and a career and quite a bit of money through his side of the family too. So when they actually got married, I think she became a little bit more financially sound. And yeah. Why did she not go to a remand center? I think she did. Originally, she did. She wasn't at Dame Phyllis Frost originally. She was in a remand. I don't know where it was, but I think it was in Leongatha. No, not Leongatha, Morwell. I think she was in jail out there at one point, and then she got transferred. And it was because of the length of time between when she was arrested and when she'd be in go to trial. It was going to be so long that they transferred her to a different prison. Okay. Yeah, so Dame Phyllis Frost is a prison in the not too far from the center of Melbourne. I've shown it on this channel before. I'll show it again just for people who haven't seen it. This is the jail right here. And that's where she is currently located. It's not too far from the city. So if I go out here, this is Melbourne City right here. And she's out here in jail. Normally we call this Deer Park. So Deer Park has a male jail as well. I'm pretty sure it's somewhere around here. There's a male facility too. So this is the Metropolitan Remand Center. So this is Metro Remand up here. This is where you go before. This is where you go before you've been sentenced. So she might actually be here. I don't know why they're just calling it Dame Phyllis, but she may actually just be here. Because this is where you're supposed to go before you're sentenced, and you get held on remand basically. And up here is the proper female prison. So they live in like these little self-contained apartment type things. They're jails. They still have bars on the doors and stuff like that. But they live in these little facilities. They often share it. They do their own cooking, that type of thing. So it's almost like living with roommates, and you got to like all self-contained, and you got to cook dinner each night and clean up and maintain a household. Sort of like they teach them to live somewhat of a normal life in prison. So it's not like the jails you see in America. Yeah, sort of. I've seen pods in America. It's not really like that. It's more like a little apartment. If you look like if you're in like a little 3-bedroom apartment, that's what it would be like. Don't let her cook anything. No, don't let her cook anything. I'll tell you, it's funny. Apparently, they found death cap mushrooms growing within the prison, inside the fence, and they shut down the prison until they could get rid of them because they were so paranoid that Aaron Patterson might find them and put them in people's food that they shut down the prison for like 24 hours while they dealt with it. I don't know how her mother passed away. I'm not sure. She wouldn't be cooking? Yeah. Catatonic says that sounds far too good for her. Wow. We treat our prisoners well, they don't get treated that well. I got to be honest. They yes, it's nice, but at the same time, here, do you guys want to see inside of one? So this is what they sort of look like inside. So this is one that's been emptied. So you can see back here, these doors down here, I'm guessing are the bedrooms, and these are probably lockable. Like you can probably get locked in, and then it's got like a kitchen, a little kitchen area, little over here would be like a little lounge room. There's probably a shower or something here, and it's probably connected to the other parts of the prison. So like, yeah, that's what I'm guessing, but yeah, that's what it looks like. Looks like, like I said, like a little apartment type thing. It looks nice. Oh, I still think they can lock you in here, in your bedroom. I'm pretty sure they can still lock you in your like cell. Gail said it's like the uni dorm with the rooms on the outside and living area in the middle. Sort of, yeah. Way too comfy for a prison. It is a little bit. Yeah, let me see if I can find some other photos for you. See, they've got other ones that are more like a traditional. I don't know what the difference is. See, this is more like your traditional jail, where you have a room, a bunk bed. You probably have someone else with you, and you have a toilet, maybe a shower, maybe not, and that's it. And this is like more like your pod style prison. So they have both there, I think. But I'm not sure what the difference is. Because I've never been in jail. I don't know. But yeah, I do know they have these little dormitory style, not dormitory, but more like, yeah, co-sharing, co-living type ones. But I don't know how you get those. But here's some of the other ones. These are the normal type. So there's like a bed area. You get like a sink. The towels up here probably for privacy in the toilet. I think this is the toilet or shower. I'm not sure. But I know the toilet's right here in this bottom right corner. Oftentimes, people will put up a towel or a sheet up, and this is to give some sort of privacy because in the door there's a window. So anyone walking past can see you sitting on the toilet. So a lot of times they put up like a sheet or just something like that to give them a modicum of privacy inside of their cell. So there you go. She needs a jail cell with bars. Yeah. Maybe that's just where they eat. No, they do live in those areas. I'm just not sure how you qualify to live in that arrangement. I'd have to ask someone who's actually been in there. They got two different styles, and I don't know what the difference is. I don't think ours have showers. I know in America you basically have a toilet, a sink, a bed, and a TV. I'm not sure if they still have the TVs, but these ones do. There's a flat screen on the wall right there in the middle. I remember seeing Alex Murdoch's cell. Oh, yeah. Hey, Kaliza. How are you, my friend? Pokum's Law was introduced when a female inmate died in that prison. Pokum's Law? It's a bail reform law, blueprint for bail. It must be something for Aboriginal people. because it comes up with the Aboriginal Legal Service. Bail reform to ensure that Victoria bail laws are fair, compliant. Okay, what is Pokum's law? Yeah, explicitly requiring that a person must not be remanded for an offence that is unlikely to result in the sentence of imprisonment. That's what Pokum's law is, or Pokum's law. So that basically just means if there's no reasonable expectation of a jail sentence at the end, that they can't hold you behind bars for longer than legally necessary. Basically, like probably 72 hours, which is the normal legal time. Much cleaner than the USA prison jails. Well, I'm pretty sure they make them clean it, and if you don't clean it, you get in trouble. Like you get denied certain things. But yeah, there you go. I don't know which one she's in. No idea. I suspected she'd be in the co-living arrangement, but I could have been wrong. Ping could have been very wrong. Here, I'll try and have a look. I'm just trying to see if we can see where she might be living in the jail. Okay, it says that well, at least the paper is accusing and saying they're saying that she's in a smaller one, but I don't know if this is correct, but that's what they're saying. I can show you a photo. Hold on. From the Daily Mail. There's her court sketch. There's the prison. That's a bigger view than what I just showed you before. Let's have a look. Oh, that's an inmate area. Let's see. So apparently this is what she'd be living in. Sort of a bunk bed style, jail unit. So there you go. They're saying that's what she is in. Rachel said, I love learning about Australia. One without a communal kitchen, one with no beef Wellingtons. Gayla says, hell cost of living nowadays, that looks all right. 3 hots and a cot with TV and kitchen area. I know, while the rest of us pay millions of dollars in rent every year. Yeah, hopefully she doesn't have a kitchen. Although they were very spooked when they heard that there were death cap mushrooms growing within the walls of the prison. They shut it down for a period of time. Actually, maybe I can show you that article.
Patterson has spent 4 months behind.
They're saying accused poisoner Erin Patterson moved to protective unit in prison. Great. They say accused, she's been moved to a protective unit as she awaits trial. The Herald Sun has cited a prison insider who claimed Patterson has been moved to Dame Phyllis Frost Protection Wing for protection from other inmates. It's believed she could be in a unit that includes a shower, toilet, desk, closet, and even access to a kitchen. So they believe she could be in one of the nicer ones. I was trying to find the article where it talks about they shut it down. Guys, give me a second. I have to fix something for Muffin. Hold on. All right, done. Sorry. He's like, Dad, I want some biscuits. And I'm like, buddy, I'm on the show. He's like, but Dad, I'm hungry. And I'm like, all right. Okay, let's see if we can find it. I thought there was one part. All right. I don't know. I can't find it. I'm pretty sure it did though. That they shut it down when they found it growing inside the walls of the prison. Unfortunately, I can't find that article. Yeah, prison shut down. Mm. I can't find it unfortunately, but yeah, at one point it did happen that they were concerned about it because of her. She wouldn't get near a kitchen. I don't know. Thavi says I cringe at the thought that Kohlberger is getting 3 hots and a cot and my tax. Wow. Hey, at least his legal team lost their challenge this week, and that evidence will be allowed into trial. The judge had a good point that you can't explain away the DNA found on that clasp. So there's no, magicking that away. And the judge was correct in allowing that evidence to be used and allowed. So if the evidence is there, I think we all believe it is. This trial should be fairly a walk in the park. It shouldn't be that hard to prove that he was at that crime scene at the time. I haven't done a lot on Kohlberger. I haven't done a ton of shows on him, but I do follow it outside of doing this channel. Thank the G. Thank the G. I don't know who the G is, but I'll thank them. Thank the G. A kitchen for the poisoner. When your kids say they're hungry, it pulls at your heart. I know, but these cats are sort of like my kids. All right, that's that. We've done that. We've done that. I really wish I could have found that article because it's so funny. Yeah, okay, I did find it. Hold on. I found it. Yes, I did find it. They say horticultural alert, wild mushrooms found growing at Erin Patterson's prison. They say bosses at Dame Phyllis Frost Women's Prisons in Victoria got into a flap a few weeks back. The reason, the discovery of wild mushrooms within the prison's walls. Quite the coincidence when the Women's Correctional Facility is hosting alleged mushroom killer cook Erin Patterson while she awaits her trial for murder next year. Yeah, this was before her trial date was set as April 27. They said here, last month, prison officials issued a warning note to staff about mushrooms that were found growing in the grounds. They say, good morning, as most of you know and have seen it, it is mushroom season, and they are growing in various places around the compound. I have notified 2 of our trusted horticultural billets to pick them as required. They say a billet is prison speak for a trusted inmate given a specific job, in this case, gardening duties. They say if you see them out and about and fossicking around the grounds, this is what they're doing. Thanks for your understanding. They say the billets were tasked with collecting the mushrooms and safely disposing of them. So, yeah, disposing of them before Erin Patterson could get to them. Hold on, guys. Yeah, so that's it. They were found in the grounds. They got a little bit weird over it and decided to make sure they were picked and taken away from Erin. She had the spores on her. Yeah, she's been secretly walking around, sprinkling them as she walks around the garden, waiting for them to blossom. No, Victoria actually gets a lot of mushrooms because in the winter weather, and this was in July, this article, July is peak mushroom season in Melbourne. It's so wet, dreary down here in July that mushrooms just grow everywhere. Like they're just everywhere. If you're a fan of the magic kind, you can obtain them as well. They are grown everywhere down here. If you're into that thing, when I first moved to Melbourne, one of the first things that someone showed me was a bag full of magic mushrooms. I am not kidding. Like the first weekend I was here, someone showed me what they had found when they went out picking mushrooms that weekend. And they're like, look, there's heaps of them. We could all get really high off this. Yeah, that's the end of that story. But yes, they do grow wild down here. But so do the ones that Erin used, which are death cap mushrooms. Very different. Don't get them confused. One will give you a great fun weekend. One of them will kill you. So that's the difference. Patty L said the other prisoners are probably scared of her. Well, she got moved into protection. If she got moved into a protective unit, there must have been attacks on her. Like someone must have attacked her. Quite expensive here, probably because they don't grow wild, but they grow wild here everywhere. They're just freaking everywhere. You can go like there's certain places you can go every winter, and they just grow. Like you can just pick heaps of them. I don't know why that's like that, but it just is. I've never seen them, but I don't need to. It's been about 20 years since I've seen them, but I still know that they're out there. The ones we have here, they're a specific type that when you pick them, they actually where you've picked it and break them, they stain a blue color. So they often have a nickname called blue meanies. And yeah, they when you break them, they sort of go blue on the stem. So there you go, some weird knowledge of down here. Patty L said, I used to worry about people who would eat magic mushrooms when I was a teenager. Gayla says the nice units are for non-dangerous / aggressive people. Okay. They're everywhere. Catatonic, they are. That's true. They're just bloody everywhere, those mushrooms. Yeah. There's people who go picking every winter and they dry them or eat them or whatever and get very, very high. Very high. All right. That's why the Smurfs are blue, is it? I never knew that. That would make sense. No, it wouldn't. But all right, let's keep going. Let's see what else I have on my list for tonight. It's fun talking about Erin Patterson. I like that. Okay. We could do this one. All right. Let's head out to Maine. I don't think we do a ton of stories out of Maine. It's not a thing we do a ton of, but yeah, all right. We don't go out there that often for, different crimes.
Last man's facing a murder charge after police say he killed his wife and injured his mother yesterday in Reedfield.
Police say 34-year-old Samuel Whitmore killed his wife, 32-year-old Margot Whitmore, at a house on Giles Road. State police say they found her body outside the home.
Authorities say Whitmore and his wife lived in Belfast but were visiting his parents. Medical examiner ruled Margot Whitmore's death a homicide, but the cause of death has not been released.
Officials say they found Whitmore's mother, 67-year-old Dorothy Whitmore, injured inside. She was taken to a Lewiston hospital where she was first listed in critical condition but has since been upgraded.
State police say Whitmore ran away and was taken into custody a short distance away. Whitmore was taken to a hospital for evaluation and then later taken to the Kennebec County Jail. He's expected to make his first court appearance tomorrow.
So there you go. Accused of killing his wife. They're saying a Belfast Belfast man is facing, that was good ping, is facing a murder charge after police say he killed his wife and injured his mother Wednesday in Redfield. They're saying police say 34-year-old Samuel Whitmore killed his 32-year-old wife. Like, why? He looks like he's crazy in this photo, right? He looks like someone has given him all the good antipsychotics, and he's just sitting there in like dreamland. What is this photo? Look at his face. He looks happy with what he's done. He looks like he's enjoying his time behind the, behind the camera. What a weirdo. They're saying here, police say they found her body outside of their home. Authorities say Whitmore and his wife lived in Belfast but were visiting his parents. They're saying the medical examiner ruled her death a homicide, but the cause of death has not been released to the public. Officials say Samuel's mother, 67-year-old Dorothy, was injured inside the home. She was taken to a Lewiston hospital where she was first listed in critical condition but has since had her condition upgraded. State police say Samuel ran away and was taken into custody a short distance away. He was taken to a hospital for evaluation and then later taken to Kennebec County Jail. He's expected to make his first court appearance Friday morning. We're definitely going to have to look at that. We're definitely going to have to look at that court case on Friday morning. Here you go. Here's a blown up photo of Mr. Smiley. Mr. Smiley. Why is he so happy? I don't understand. Jonna says living his food life, letting his free care fly. Yeah. Thank goodness for Zoom. Yeah, I'm sorry guys. When I do zoom it up, that's like the most I can make it. Like here, I'll show you. Like this is the biggest I can really make it and allow me to continue to read. If I do it anymore like that, it makes it really difficult for me to sort of read in advance. If I do it any larger than that, I'd have to read with you guys on this particular screen, on the what you see, because on the other one it's very annoying. Yeah, I'll scroll through it very slowly. Actually, I'll start at the top. If you guys want to have a read of it, there you go. Depends how fast you read. And then I can take you under here. There you go. Here's another paragraph. Read it if you want. It's basically what I said anyway. So there you go. And that's it. He's expected to make his first court appearance on Friday. So I will tell you more about that probably for tomorrow night's show. Apparently, luckily, his father wasn't at home at the time of the attacks. I bet you that's why he did it. Because there wasn't another male there to challenge him. I bet you that's what it was. Because it seems like it was him and his mother and his wife. So he was like, well, I could take 2 females, and there was no elder male there to help the ladies. I reckon if there was another male there, he wouldn't have done it, because he's that kind of coward, like he's like, oh well, I could do it with them. They say the Winthrop police responded to a home just after 10 a.m. on Wednesday, and they found Margot Whitmore, I hope that's how you say her name, dead outside the home, and Dorothy, her mother-in-law, also found inside the home with critical injuries. The suspect, Dorothy Whitmore's 34-year-old son, Samuel, fled the scene, was found a short distance away. Yeah, we know that. And yeah, very lucky that their father was not there at the time. He was out of the home. Hope they give him a comb in jail. He does need something. He does need a haircut of some sort. You would think if your son came home, you would think if the son came home and had hair like that, you'd have many questions for them, like, when was the last time you've been to a barber? When was the last time you had your hair cut, son? That would be like the first question. You like the bigger lettering? I wish we could do it all, make it more permanent. I don't know if I can. Because when I switch to another article, right? Look, I'll go back to Erin Patterson. It's tiny again. It's like there's no way to like permanently set it. No, I don't have a way to do that. But I can just try and do the best I can at making it larger. All right. What else do I have on my list of weird things that happen in the world today? Let's see on my list of stuff. Coburger. No, we're not going to do that. All right, we could do this one. Let's go to WNCN. Let's go to WNCN. Guessing that is Cincinnati. No, North Carolina. Good work, Ping. They say a Cary man charged with murdering after girlfriend found dead, according to police. They say a man was arrested after his girlfriend was found dead at her residence Wednesday afternoon. According to the police department, officers responded just before 12:30 p.m. to a call at a Cube Smart Storage on Trinity Road. They discovered a deceased woman inside a private residential apartment connected to the facility's leasing office. They say the woman was identified as 41-year-old Rebecca Renee Carter, the manager of the storage facility who lived on the premises. Police said they encountered 40-year-old Travis Winton Huff, Carter's boyfriend, at the scene. Huff made incriminating statements to the officers and was taken to the police department for questioning. He was then charged with murder in connection with Carter's death. The investigation remains active and no further comment at this time. Huh, all right. 41-year-old Rebecca Renee Carter. Let's have a look. We could go there. Let's have a look. 5 hours ago.
From those who knew and loved 41-year-old Rebecca Carter.
Very shocked, honestly.
I spoke with Melvin Montgomery over the phone. Rebecca was his former manager at the Cube Smart Storage in the 900 block of Trinity Road in Cary. That's where police say she was found inside of the leasing office, which is also where she was living.
Capital defender at this point will be appointed to represent you.
Today, her boyfriend, 40-year-old Travis Huff, stood before a judge. Police say he's being charged with murdering Rebecca. He's now being held without bond. And the judge says he could receive life in prison without parole, or he could face the death penalty. Other former colleagues of Rebecca describe her as someone who was very friendly and had a big heart. They've already started reaching out to her loved ones.
I did, send a private message to her mother, sending my condolences and ask, whenever she got the chance to reach out to me. But I know, she's dealing with a lot right now.
In Raleigh, Akila Davis, ABC 11 Eyewitness News.
There's a photo of her there. Yeah, like people are saying, why don't you just if you don't like the person you're with, why don't you just leave? You don't have to kill them. I know, I don't get it. The pregnant girl, her name is Sophia Franklin. I have zero updates, none. I have no updates for Sophia Franklin, nothing. There's been no movement in the last 48 hours. There's been really nothing else. Yeah. No new news on Sophia, unfortunately. Yeah, no sightings. The thing that worries me is there haven't been any new sightings. The last sighting of Sophia or Gary was almost 2 weeks ago now. It's been a while, and it is very concerning. In about 3 days' time, it'll be 2 weeks since anyone has spotted them. So that is very upsetting. It's more concerning when they were being seen around all the time. It was sort of okay because you're like, oh, at least they're alive. People can see them. But the fact that no one's seen them in almost 2 weeks now is very, very concerning. Yeah, very, very concerning. All right. I know. What a a waste of a nice life, right? She seemed like a nice lady. April B said Sophia's case is really worrying me now. Me too, because like I said, the fact that no one's seen them is probably the most concerning part. When they were being spotted driving and the car was seen and you could see it on the traffic cameras, at least you knew they were still around. But the fact that no one has sighted them in almost 2 weeks is probably more worrying than anything else. So you just got to hope that maybe they've hunkered down somewhere because of the weather. The weather's been atrocious across that area of the USA in the last week or so. So maybe they found somewhere warm to hunker down and try to get out of the weather. That's the only thing I can think of. I know. She looked like a nice lady. Hopefully we'll hear more about the court dates for him. Let me just go here. So her name was 41-year-old Rebecca Renee Carter, and she was the manager of that storage facility. What was it? Cube Mart Storage, 950 Trinity Road. Okay. In Raleigh, North Carolina. In Raleigh. It's a beautiful facility. How do they live here? It's crazy. Yeah, I'll take you out here. This is the facility here. Where is the home that they lived in? This little thing? This little thing here? Because these are all storage lockers. So they live in the little place here, maybe? Oh, yeah, there is a little home there. There, this is the home that she was found in, I'm guessing. They said it was a home that was attached to the storage facility. It must be this home here. Maybe they lived here, so this is the storage place right here. And they said that she was found in a connecting home. So maybe right there. Very, very easy commute to work. You just have to walk across here and go here. Great little facility. Yeah. But unfortunately now she's been found deceased, unfortunately. It is weird, huh? Like a little home right there. And then next door is just more business places, like industrial. There you go. Oh, we can go in? Oh, here we go. Oh, no, go back. So it's like a home / business. You probably go in this door here and there's a counter. So you can do your storage facility, application or whatever. Do your payments. And they probably live here as well. Or she probably did live here. So there you go. This is the property. What was it? 950. Yeah, that's where she was found. So there you go. They change every 5 years. Okay. All right. Yeah, I hope they found a warm place too. What are you talking? Here. Hey, Susie. Susie says about 3.5 hours from me. How's the weather down there at the moment? Recently. Sorry, Mrs. Ping. I hope you found a place. Me too. I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's something that changes every 5 years. What did they say? I'm trying to find what Sean said. Oh, hair. Very cold. Very cold. I know, how rude to kill someone in the cold. I feel like that's like, makes it worse. Okay, let me have a look. Raleigh. Oh, apparently it is currently 24 degrees Fahrenheit in Raleigh, North Carolina. Yeah, it's not quite as cold as a little further west. A little further west, it is about 20 degrees lower than that, maybe 25 degrees. So Raleigh not doing too bad, but there is a lot of snow. They're saying that schools have been closed for Friday morning, apparently. Yeah.
Are just some of the vehicles that were towed here to Lee's Towing after that wreck yesterday. And I'll tell you, too, about a mile down the road here is another tow lot that houses dozens of cars. Inside that tow lot is the car that 78-year-old Geraldine Wilson died inside yesterday. Of course, out of respect for her family, you won't be seeing that car in our air tonight, but I can tell you it's one of the most mangled cars I've ever seen, just painting a picture of how horrific this crash was last night.
You hear these stories out west where you see all these major incidents and major collisions, and you don't really ever think that's going to be here. But last night it hit home.
53 cars involved in 12 different crashes as the snow fell on Wednesday, shutting down I-40 in Orange County. Several people were injured, and a 78-year-old woman from Burlington was killed. Robbie Gardner of Lee's Towing led the charge to clear the interstate, his crews getting every single car and tractor trailer out, one by one, over several hours.
It's very surreal.
He walked us through the tow yard to see some of the damage.
This was one of the vehicles that were trapped on the bridge behind that incident.
He shared these pictures with us too, saying cars were stuck under semi-trucks and had to be pulled out and lifted over.
So this is from a pile up from the roads just turning to ice and, can't get any traction. So you get these like monster pile ups. And unfortunately, her car went under a truck yesterday and she was crushed and she died in that pile up yesterday. But you see that truck going over the top here. It's crazy.
It made for an agonizing wait for the people stuck on I-40 for 9 hours.
With 53 or so vehicles basically trapped in between those bridges, it's just a matter of, hey, getting them out. Our fire and EMS, I know they had people like that. They were bringing food, water to all these people up there that were stuck.
There was an ambulance stuck behind the wrecks with a handful of people trying to get to a hospital.
And we ended up having to bring in another ambulance, transfer them over, walk them around, get them around to that next ambulance just so they could get through the scene. So it was pretty rough.
Robbie and his crews are still recovering from it all.
I started probably around 7 yesterday, and yesterday morning, and I got to my house for the first time at about noon today.
After seeing it all and working through it nonstop, he has advice for drivers next time a storm hits.
Stay home, hug your family. Definitely stay home, hug your family.
He is 100% right. Stay home if you don't need to be out there. If you don't desperately need to get somewhere, wait until the weather improves and then drive. That is very sad that lady won't be making it home to her family, and that was her car that basically got smushed underneath a giant truck. It's very sad. It's very sad. It's a death that's avoidable. Susie said it was 72 degrees 4 days ago. That would have been a very strange drop in weather from 70s to like teens. That is a hard shift in weather. It's almost a 50-degree drop in weather. Let's see. Yeah, horrific. So be safe out there, please. Don't be driving around unless you have to. Unless you have to urgently get somewhere or just stay at home until the roads get better, until you get a little bit warmer and that ice starts to melt. Just stay inside. Be warm. Stay inside. Watch Nights with Ping. Sean says domino effect. Yeah, one car crashes and the other one sees it and they put on their brakes and then they crash and then the one behind them and so on and so on. And it gets worse and worse. Rachel said, unless if you drive in any weather, pack food. Yeah, that was interesting. There was a car crash last year and people were stuck in their cars for like 9 hours. And one of the biggest things they said was they ran out of water and like snacks or chips or whatever. They ran out of mostly water though. And they're like, they had to wait for people to come and then hand out water to cars. So yeah, if you're going on a trip in this type of weather, make sure you are prepared for all eventualities. You might be in your car for longer than you think. Take a water bottle, take some little bit of snacks or something, take a power bar, take a protein bar, something like that. And if anything goes wrong, at least you got some food and water. So it's awful out there. I hope this system's going to piss off and go home. Wherever it came from, it can go home. Because it's really bad. I know everyone in Texas is suffering right now. It's super cold. There was a thing here. I'll show you. DJ sent it to me. Where is it? Yeah.
And the city of Carrollton says the extreme cold caused a water main to burst along Luna Road north of Valley View Lane. It happened overnight and it created an icy mess. Fox 4's Lori Brown is live in Carrollton. Lori.
Clarice, a spokeswoman for the city of Carrollton, said that the water main broke because the bitter cold actually caused the ground to shift, sort of like a home's foundation.
The road was blocked, so I was mad about that. But then you get the impression of the winter wonderland when you pass by. You're like, oh, that's pretty. I'm glad that's not on my side.
It's a beautiful, even artful scene, like sheets of water frozen in time. The gushing blast started sometime overnight when a connector between two pipes failed in the bitter cold. The city of Carrollton said they're thankful someone in the area called their 24-hour line to report it at around 3 a.m., or this could have been much worse. A crew arrived by 3:30 a.m. and managed to get the water main shut off and immediately began repairs.
These are wheelchair accessible vehicles. They were completely covered in white. The streets were, or the passage here was very slippery, so we couldn't reach them. But they're starting to thaw out.
Pedro Arias is a mobility specialist with United Access, a dealership for wheelchair accessible vehicles.
We just kind of pair the right one to the customers, depending on their needs.
Arias says they had to cancel Thursday's appointments with customers. United Access is one of 6 without water now due to the break. For those not impacted, it created a picture-perfect backdrop.
We never see this in Texas, especially in Dallas. So I think this is really beautiful. And I came across the street just to take pictures.
It does look pretty cool, right? It does look like something out of like a Disney, Frozen movie. It looks like some sort of like Disney Wonderland. It looks pretty cool. Probably pretty deadly if it got any worse than that, especially if you got hit by it. But yeah, a bit of a sight to see in Texas. Let's see. Yeah, get some. Yeah, running out of gas. That's not good. You always keep a case of water in your trunk. That is a good idea. Yeah. All right. I think we're just about done for this Friday night. I'm going to go enjoy my Friday evening, and then I'm going to be back for your Friday night tomorrow. Tomorrow for me, sort of today for you, but I will definitely be back for our American Friday night. I want to thank these people. I want to thank Deborah L. and Sean A. Thank you very much for your donations. I really appreciate it. This channel really gets a little hamstrung at times due to funds because there's more things we want to do, but we just get a little tied up with not enough. Not for you guys, just it's just one of those things. You want to do bigger and better things, we can't always do them. Marjorie says, for the mushroom support, thank you, my friend. I appreciate it. But the trial is going to be a lot of fun. That's where the majority of my effort is going right now because it's such a massive undertaking to leave home for 2 weeks. I don't know if I've ever done that. So I'm going to be away. Actually, I lie. I'm going to be away for 2 weeks, but I'm going to only be gone Monday to Friday. I'm going to come home on the weekends because there's no point being out in Morwell over the weekends. So sort of 10 days, sort of. And yeah, I'm going to miss my cats. I'm going to be away from them for like ages. Yes, thank you for your help, Sean. I appreciate it. And Deborah L., I very much appreciate you too. And Marjorie, thank you, my sweet friend. It's very kind of you. You guys are very helpful, very amazing, and I'm always appreciative Unlike some channels who don't seem to be very appreciative of the people who help them. I don't know who, I don't have any specific examples for you, but you may be able to come up with some in your own head. All right. I love you all. Yeah, it'll be interesting. We've got a little while to go. We've got another what? 2 months. We'll be there in 2 months. 8 weeks. 8 weeks. Patty L says, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Yeah, stay warm out there. Stay warm. Oh, it'll be good. Ping is going to have to learn how to write again with a pen. I don't know if I'm allowed to take the laptop in. If I have to write by pen, you may get no updates because I have handwriting like a doctor. Like I could write something and I'll come back an hour later and I'll be like, what did I write? Like I don't even know what this means. What is collage? Is that a real word? Is that French? Like what is that? That is how I write. Yeah, it'll be good. It'll be good. It'll be a lot of fun. Maybe they'll let me have a drone. I'll put a drone in the courtroom. Maybe they'll let me do that. No, they won't let me do that. All right. Hey, I love you all. Have a great Friday out there. TGIF for all of you for sort of later on. But we'll be back Friday night. It'll be fun. I will. She is currently somewhere, not here, but she'll be here later, I think. She'll be here for tomorrow's show, though. She'll be here for tomorrow's show. Gayla says that's my writing. Yeah, that's my writing. All right. I love you all. The greatest late crew in the world. Good night. We're out of here. Bye.